Dramatic air drums. Wow. Hello and welcome back to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Charlie, not Will as it says in the script in front of me, at Frost and Fire on the Twitters, and I am very excited to get back into Inquisitor on this fine Monday. For those watching live on Twitch, welcome. Stick around. It's going to be an amazing 3 hours as we dive into heresy and space and disaster plans. For those watching on YouTube, you can come and find us live every week on Mondays in the 2 p.m. Eastern slot. That's 7 p.m. if you're in the UK. Today, we're going to be playing Inquisitor using the Mutants and Masterminds system. But before we get too far into this, why don't we go around the cast and see how everyone is and who they're playing. Let's start with the wonderful Just Jason, please.
Yes, hello, Just Jason, please here, Jason Catrone, and playing Vasily Taltos, a wonderfully ecstatic servant of the Emperor, and, shall we say, dramatic foil to Matilda, our beloved Inquisitor. That's fair. But, glad to be here. Happy to finally be back from a pretty exhaustive weekend, and, more than ready to start burning some heretics finally. So,
finally, have I not given you enough opportunity?
Well, you've given me opportunity. It's just schedules haven't worked out. And, I didn't have my flamer for the longest time. You sent me to prison. There's little I could do.
It's the adept that's been stealing the kills.
Well, that's true. Speaking of our kill-stealing monster, how are you doing, Pope?
Great. I'm world build, Pope world build on the Twitters. I play Kivkin, Severus Dracon, our long-suffering adept, and apparently most murderous adept in the Inquisition. I believe the kill count is at 21. So we'll see if that continues to climb as we head to Facility 77. So we'll see how all that goes and who survives, who dies, who has a near death. We'll see.
As long as none of those are my boyfriend, it's fine. Speaking of wonderful people who should be loved and protected at all costs, Cleric, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a great weekend with the 48-hour stream. Got to play some Warhammer Fantasy finally. Got to play some Bluebeard's Bride. Always a lot of fun. The music that's playing right now in my head is reminding me of the creepy music box from Bluebeards. But I'm a Cleric of Cord. I'm playing Zefenia Gregori, our Sister of Battle, who is rather put out about the lack of heretics she's been able to kill so far. I think her count is only at 3. But she's hoping that will improve shortly.
Awesome. And how are you doing today, Bastian?
Pretty good, I guess. Spent some time doing some alpha testing, which is always nice over the weekend. Watched the 48-hour stream. I still think you can still donate. I think I removed the counter, but it is still there, and there's also a command for that. So don't forget to help out Will and Sid. Looking forward to seeing how far you get into the rabbit hole today, and see if we can up that kill count.
Preferably not with us contributing to the number.
Yeah, it's 21-0 at the moment, and I'd like to make it.
I think it's 25-0.
25-0,
Just saying.
Yeah.
I think we got a couple extras.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we shall see. Chat, put in your bets now. Who is in trouble this session? But before we do get to the session, I'd like to remind you guys of a few sponsors that we have here on Encounter Roleplay. Of course, there is Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop choice. All of the maps, tokens, roles you see are done using Fantasy Grounds. And there are lots of different systems available via that, and you can try it for free at fantasygrounds.com. You can also get miniatures, game accessories, and more from Wayland Games. So go to waylandgames.co.uk and get yourself up to 20% off. You don't even need a code. Just go. It's there. It's already.
How much percent?
20. Madness.
Okay.
And actually, that is genuinely a good deal a lot of the time, especially if you're in the UK, because the shipping is really affordable.
Mhm.
And of course, cannot forget dice. We're ready to roll. And who better to check out than Dice Envy, who offer an amazing subscription service where you can get cool dice every month. Starting at just $5, you have access to limited run dice delivered straight to your door, so you don't even have to go anywhere. So check that out at diceenvy.com, and if you use the code EncounterRP, you get 10% off. Everything. Anything. Stick that code in there.
Anything and everything?
I know. It's extreme. I'm excited.
Wow.
You can also support the show and that GoFundMe by retweeting the tweet to let everyone know we're live and we're maniacs. And you can also interact with today's game in a number of other ways. You can donate to affect the players and the games, giving nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and I think the Table of Pets is still going. Still in there. Still could get a puppy for the Inquisitor. I think that would solve a lot of her problems.
I'll take any pet donations for sure. But I'll definitely take any wild magic searches because they are great in the Warhammer 40k universe.
I really want to see some more wild magic surges. I love them in any Warhammer universe, but I think
Yeah.
40k, it could really turn the tides because we start looking at heretics really quickly.
Yeah.
And if we do start looking like heretics really quickly, or there's another moment in the show that you love, clip it. We like to make highlight reels for Twitter, and just for our own amusement, replaying any funny faces we make. I think that was a really good one from a couple of weeks ago where I was doing this. So thank you for grabbing that moment.
Was that on a Cthulhu show?
I have a feeling it was on Warhammer, because I only play Warhammer on this channel.
Nope. It was apropos
so
of nothing.
Without any further ado and discussion of heretical signs, let's hand it over to Pope, who's going to be doing our summary today. So let's catch you up. Last time on Inquisitor. Dum dum dum.
Yes, last time we joined with Vasily as he was off in a safe house meeting his new best friend, Cornelius, and getting a handle on Cornelius's shady dealings, as well as a scheme to transport people off planet. Meanwhile, our beloved Inquisitor and her boyfriend, Donnie, we're coming to terms with her revelation as her being a part of the Inquisition. Meanwhile, Kifkin and Safenia were in a Arbites vehicle trying to zero in on Vasily's location. Vasily made a deal to get off planet, but as part of the deal, he had to transport some material to Site 77, a place away, a good ways away, travel from the capital, which is currently undergoing riots. There was communication back and forth between the different members of our little acolyte band of Inquisitor, and a plan was hatched by Safenia to ambush the transport, as Vasily had with him Fox, a pretty significant heavy as part of this little conspiratorial smuggling band. So an area of roadway under a bridge in a tunnel was cordoned off, and the trap was sprung. Vasily going to the back and finding the package turned out to be a bunch of unconscious individuals. Later, after the firefight and summary execution of Fox, more things were found in the back of that truck, including explosives that weren't wired to go boom, but were definitely hidden and being sent off to Site 77. So, when we meet our friends again, Donnie is in a vehicle with the Inquisitor, as well as Kifkin and Safenia, while Vasily is in a truck. I believe Safenia is actually with him if my notes are correct, yes. As she has taken off her power armor and is impersonating a captive. And we're on the road to Site 77.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened last week. So that's also where we'll pick up, because we were on the road. So if there's anything you would still love to discuss in the vehicles while you're on the road, now is a good time. Because we have Matilda with Donnie and Kifkin in the Arbeits truck, and then in the transport with one exploded wheel. It's still going. It's heavy duty, and it's not heavily loaded. We find Vesely and Safenia, and I think taking a moment for them
with us Yara, who is our conscious captive.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume she's in the Adaptus, the Arbeits vehicle.
Yeah,
she's with us.
Okay, and one thing I would like to know is what is your plan of approach? That's a good moment for you all to discuss it on the comms, actually.
Okay, so how are we doing
Make it slightly less creepy for y'all.
Slightly less. Only slightly.
Moderately less creepy.
About 10% off on all creepiness orders.
I think it is wise that we stop our vehicle a way out from the outpost. If they have high-level sensors, they may be able to already tell that there is a ship in orbit above it, but I'm hoping they are not looking at the sky too closely.
No, that would be unlikely, considering most domestic sensors on a backwater planet this way can only go up to 1 kilometer. But it is a concern. How far out do you want us to park? If Vasily gets in trouble, I know Safenia can handle herself, but I'm concerned with all those explosives that if things go wrong, well, they'll go ploin-shaped.
Well, if they do go ploin-shaped,
yeah,
at least it will be out here and not in the middle of the city. And perhaps Safenia will die in a glorious blaze, knowing heretics have gone with her. But yes,
the possibility.
It is more my concern that those explosives leave that facility. And you're right, if we are too far away, there's little we can do.
Quick question for Bastion. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Safenia's ability to sense heresy is not tied to her armor. Is that correct?
That is correct. That's one of your few powers that's not tied to the armor.
So anyone who lays hands on Safenia, she can tell if they're a heretic when we get there. And as the prisoner, I imagine that at least several people will be grabbing a hold of her to try to carry her off.
Perhaps it would be wise if we parked within a walking distance so that we may provide assistance at the facility, but we are not dragging vulnerable people who should not be involved in this into this. And she kind of side glanced to Donnie and Yara.
Well, most Arbeits vehicles do have the capability of going off-road. So I guess once we follow the auto map here, I can see about off-roading it and finding a shady spot to park it.
Yeah. You're driving a half track, so it should go off-road pretty well. As long as you don't go into heavy swamps and forests, which this planet doesn't really have. Well, there's mud swamps, but no swamps with trees.
So
I would also rather us not be exposed to the elements for too long, as we know this planet does have hazardous rain and gases and other side effects of the works here.
Yeah. No, We'll try, but we're probably gonna have to hightail it through some rough environment for.
I have faith in your driving, and if it is too much, Donnie should be well versed with an Arbeitsvehicle.
The vehicle's not the problem. It's more just the environment. But wherever you want to put it down, we'll try.
Well, Donnie looks at you and says, as far as I know, most outputs don't have any Arbeits or military equipment, so we should be able to park right up, as long as we're out of sight, unless they took over completely. Then who knows what we'll find.
Donnie, you will soon learn this lesson when you work with us. Enemies are everywhere, and it is best to assume that the worst-case scenario is already in progress.
He's not wrong.
Though any
Matilda
high-powered
gives
scanners
a
would
silent...
need a proper power facility, right? As far as I know, these outposts don't get the equipment for that.
That's the problem, it's as far as you know.
Yeah.
The additional problem is we are about to drive high explosives into the building. And one individual can do untold damage, given the right dangerous motivations. I appreciate your knowledge in this case. And perhaps we can get a little bit closer than I was originally suggesting. But I would still rather not have Yara and this vehicle within the blast radius. It is our option of escape. Kifkin, I do not like this noise. Please stop. I understand the implication.
I'm waiting for you to blame it on the vehicle, right?
I think that hopefully, should the worst happen, we may be able to give you one last sign or warning, and you shall go.
Worst comes to worst, we glass the entire facility as well as a 100-mile radius around it.
Oh, if the Lance actually fires down, then anything at the epicenter will be blasted to smithereens.
Kifkin. 'Twas a metaphor.
Yes, let's save our worst case abilities for the worst case, and let's assume the worst case is the case for the others. That makes no sense. Why am I talking like Vasily?
Oi!
Stefania's just only Vasily could see. Stefania's like, we could have glassed it. Oh, I don't know, a day and a half ago, and we'd have been just fine. But no, we got to do this.
While I'm thinking about it, I should probably patch using the transmitter on this vehicle up to the ship and give its position in relative to where we park it as a targeting solution for our vessel in case things do go terribly wrong, in which case it can, glass the area.
It sounds adequately marvelous and equally monotonous. Please do that as soon as possible.
And let us bear in mind, we need information. At this point, we are still lacking a lot of answers that we require. There is a greater mission here.
So, no guns blazing.
It is not my preference.
And should we find evidence of the purple markings?
Seek answers and then destroy.
Yes, Madam Inquisitor.
Simple enough.
I am glad you approve, Vasily. First with mind and then with fire.
Do you know I'm beginning to respect your authority these days?
There's just this uneasy silence.
Yeah, but Vasily just sort of floors it a little more heavily at that point.
If it was donated via the GoFundMe Bastion, it may not do a pop-up.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So, the plan as it stands is Vasily will drive right at the base, and then you will park at a suitable distance. Okay. The outpost itself, it's in relatively hilly terrain. Well, hill for the Dutch people like me, it would be hilly, like a couple of dunes, so to say. And as you approach, there's no real signs of any civilization here. First, the roads become less used, so to say, and you're practically on a track for the last couple of kilometers. And the base itself is like a mining outpost. There's several habitats scattered around improvised parking lots where there's several transporters, mostly earth movers and the like. There's a radio mast right next to like an office shack. They're all most of the shacks are interconnected with tunnels to shelter from any rain. And there's one large entrance, so to say, to what looks to be a mining tunnel. You can see that from the distance. There's no activity outside at the moment, as it's still raining. But there is someone in what looks to be like one of those boxes you get next to parking lots.
Quick question, Bastien.
Yeah.
That radio mast, would I know anything about planetary communications and like, would I know if we were to shut that down, if that would affect the communications in general, or like how
roll me
any
technology or expertise. You can roll your military expertise even, if you have
Adeptus Militarum.
Background. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's a +4, so this will be fun. 6.
6. 6. It could be either way, pretty much. It might not. You don't know, really. Kifkin would know, but if you'd have to ask Kifkin.
Yeah, at that point, sort of looking at it, thinking about it, and probably not. Nah, we'll just continue on forward.
All right. And we have one magic search donated for Pope, by the way. So you can roll me at D10,000, and I will bring that in at the appropriate time.
But of course.
And if you are in chat and do donate to that GoFundMe, pop us a message in chat because we don't get pop-ups to see that.
I can call up the current status though, which would be nice. I hit it.
If you are just joining us and you missed it, the GoFundMe is for Will and Sid's immigration fund. Will and Sid, both founders on this channel, and do amazing things for the RPG community and deserve to live a happy life together in the country of their choice. Yep. So that is what is going on.
Yeah, and that does put us at £1,276. So that's gonna get them a long way. So basically, if they complete the entire goal, they do get to fund their immigration process. So that's the goal. Anyway, back to our immigration into mining. That bridge, but it's still a bridge.
Nasty Grounds does not like the idea of a D10,000.
Oh, we ran into this problem previously. You have to go on to like an online dice roller.
Yeah, because the system doesn't use
yes
10,000. So we have another donation by Foxfire22. That's 5 crits 4 crit successes. Okay, so 1 crit success for every single person, and I get a crit failure to use on you, which is great. So I'll pop that in our little system.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
We're gonna need
So-
it.
As you know, this system uses a masterminds. It uses hero points to reroll dice, and you can use the crit success as a natural 20, or you can substitute it for a hero points to affect the scene, as the hero points would normally allow you to. So that should register soon, I hope. It is syncing?
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we'll see them pop up. So we are approaching the base. Yeah, go ahead, Pope. You can read it out.
The number that popped up here is 9,441.
9,000.
Ooh, high one.
Yeah.
So 9,431, right?
41.
Yeah, okay.
9441.
9,441. Okay. I will look that up. All right. Next weapon drawn nearby makes its user's foes invisible to him. I will note that down, and we will have a brilliant combat in which you don't get all the kills.
Don't draw your
good.
guns first.
Or maybe you do get all the kills.
They're
It
just
might be
invisible.
party
We can't
members.
find the corpses.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, Pope's in
Alright.
our vehicle, so it's whoever's closest to Pope that draws their weapon next.
That's...
Oh no.
Well, it's...
Oh boy.
Well, let me reread it. Yeah, next weapon drawn nearby. So nearby Pope. So as soon as a weapon is drawn nearby Pope, you don't see. I'll put it in when we get there. That's a great wild magic search. All right. Let's see where we are at. So, Vesely, you're approaching the base.
Yes, indeed. So, the note didn't say anything about actually like making contact with somebody within the base just to drive, right?
No, it said deliver the cargo here. And there's like several domes under which vehicles are stationed, as well as supplies.
Okay.
But as you approach, the guy in the boxy waves at you.
I'll go over to him, but with like an urgency, like that something has gone terribly wrong. So I'm gonna like literally floor it and like try my best to stomp on the brake as I approach him.
Okay. So he approaches the window and knocks on the door.
I
As you stop.
fling the door open and excuse me. At that point, Chainsword's still sort of on Sethenia's person because, oh no, Arbite. I look to him and say, "Who's in charge here?"
That's Eva. You can. Which delivery is this? He has a gas mask on. So I'll.
Oh shit! Throw on a gas mask real quick. Get her. This particular point of cargo has been compromised.
You can park next to the other trucks.
Useful. I floor it and go to the wherever he pointed.
All right. So
As I drive, I sort of look to Sethenia with like a chainsword to her gut, and I'm like, I hope you understand this is absolutely the exact opposite of what any sensible person would actually do, right?
Oh, yes, and I've seen you train with weapons, so I'm not worried.
What's that supposed to mean? I ask as we pull in.
Okay, as the Kifkin, As you park the vehicle, what does your sortie do, Matilda?
I think that we are going to obviously park the vehicle and leave Donnie with Yara inside of it, with Kipkin and Matilda making their way, looking for a good vantage point, maybe using one of the hills. Definitely using that as cover to kind of skirt around the edge. Even though things seem kind of lax around here, she would rather not be seen, because that doesn't really help.
Okay. Yep, that will do. So basically, you get there slightly earlier than Vesely enters the base, as you stopped earlier. So you can climb up to the ridge of the hill and get a vantage. And you can roll me perception, and I will roll one for just as you take a measure of the base.
19 plus perception 10, so 29 for me.
29. Okay. Some things you notice about this base is that they are there's not much activity going on outside, and all the houses, as it looks like, are empty at the moment, except for the well, you can call it a guard, but it's more of a reception at the gate at which Vesely is now talking.
I would like to just quickly retcon one tiny thing, and that's Matilda gives Donnie her communicator because she doesn't need it.
Okay. Yep.
She says we've got one with Kipkin, and it will need to talk to Donnie. She doesn't say I can talk to your brain. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because that she's still trying to keep that a secret right now.
Yeah. Well, you'll use that later in other circumstances.
Probably.
All right. So, Vesely, you park your truck. Savannah, you're still quietly in the passenger seat.
For now.
Is there?
For now.
Yeah. Is there anybody that's sort of coming our way, or otherwise, like?
Well, if you wait, yes. I assume you just wait for someone to arrive.
Yep, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
I sheathe the chainsword and pull out the flamer and point it to Savannah instead.
Okay. So after a couple of minutes, several people in minor uniform, which is a bit sturdier than what you've seen from the worker uniforms, come out of the tunnel and come to your little shelter, and approach you. And one of them greets you with. Do I have a name? I have a name. I have names for everyone.
Good to know.
No, I don't have a name here. Oh well. But one of them greets you and says, so, new delivery?
It would have been. Were not ambushed.
What went wrong?
Ask this one. And I nod over to Savannah.
Well, who is she?
An Arbeit.
Did you kidnap an Arbeit?
Kidnap?
He got lucky.
I sort of bristle at that. Keep talking. It'll do wonders for you, I assure you.
Oh, I've learned so much from your talking.
I sort of let the flamer, spout off just that little bit.
Oh, be careful with that. The rest of them does a step back. You don't know what might explode. We're doing a mining operation. There's crates of explosives everywhere. Please put that away.
I just looked an eyebrow.
Allow me to speak with who's in charge, and I will consider your offer.
Well, Eva is down in the mine coordinating, so if you'd have to come down there if you'd like to speak to her.
She comes along with, and I motion to Safenia.
Yeah, but we're here to excavate. We're not here to. That's a crime, imprisoning an Arbite.
I point the flamer in their direction.
They actually they run away as soon as you do that. One of them dies behind the crate, and unless you want to actually shoot them, one of them will try to cross the field, and
I just sort of aim it in their direction. So wonderful when the rats scurry. I whisper to Savannah.
How do we learn anything if they don't take us anywhere?
We don't need them. We find this Eva, or whatever her name was, and get our answers that way. Now go. I sort of bark. If you would be so
get
kind,
out of the. She'll get out of the vehicle.
I get out as well. Flamer still sort of held aloft.
I imagine you've got her chainsword or her Hulk gun at least close by so that she can get a hold of it.
Yeah.
Should she feel it necessary to take it from you?
Yeah, I'm ridiculously strapped at this point. I've got a sheathed chainsword on my side, a hell gun on my back, and a flamer in my arms. Yeah, it's excessive.
Doesn't sound like you at all. Nothing excessive about Vasily, ever.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No.
So, the other two, they also, when they notice they are not being fired at, they do run away. And they all scurry into the mine.
I have a feeling I'm supposed to be meeting with someone who doesn't run when threatened with a weapon.
Yes, they do seem oddly out of it for people who are expecting bodies.
Perhaps they're not the ones expecting it. I want to take a look around and see if there's anybody that I'm missing, within the immediate environment.
You can roll me a perception.
Sure. Perception.
Can I assist him in that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yup.
You can either make it a teamwork or just roll yourself. I think you won't need to help him.
No, I think he's got it.
What you notice here is that there's actually no demolition crates. If you around you are mostly supplies, but they're all empty. Most of the cases, and there's at radio mast. There's also what looks like cameras positioned over the field.
Absurdly strange. But I don't see anybody else, nobody from the group that originally absconded me or anything like that?
No. No, there's actually no one outside at the moment except for the guy at the entrance to the compound. But he's in his stall.
I'd really rather not keep standing here without my armor exposed like this.
Fine. I head in the direction where they indicated that Eva was. She's in the mines, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. Go on comms real quick. Going to be taking a little bit of a trip down, Madam Inquisitor? I sort of scoff and just sort of...
Oh, Donnie realized that to Matilda.
Yeah.
Vasily is telling me he's gonna take a trip into the mine.
Okay. Apparently, Vasily's heading into the mine. Do you want to creep closer, maybe get into the facility, or do you want to stay here?
Looking around, how conspicuous would it be for us to go in our current attire, which I believe is still our rogue trader attire?
I changed over at the
Oh, you did change?
the Arbites. I'm pretty much in Adept's robes now. So, still kind of stand out, but don't look quite so garish. Except for all the blood.
Shh. We'll settle the dry cleaning later. So yeah, Bastian, does it seem like it would be super obvious if two random people walked into the mines? Is there like a uniform as we've seen at the plants for these people, or are they just kind of whatever they're in and it's filthy?
It's similar uniforms, but it's a bit sturdier to cope with actual digging conditions.
Matilda.
I think Alex kicked you out. We think someone took the wrong call into the system, so we'll wait for Charlie to reconnect.
In the meantime, as Vasily is sort of walking towards the mines, is there anybody else that he sees as he continues on, or is it really just this whole place is abandoned?
It's not abandoned in the sense that that it's unused, but there's no one inside.
Right. Okay.
So we had Matilda. The question was, I think you're muted.
Now that the heretics are done interrupting what is going on here, chaos seeks it in any way it can. Matilda basically just takes off her jacket, and underneath it's relatively plain clothing. And she'll agree with Kipkin's suggestion that we could move up a little way, but she doesn't want to go all the way into the mine yet. Just maybe move towards like the car park area.
Yeah, you can probably get an approach there. I will have you roll stealth, because if you fail miserably, then they'll definitely spot you. Otherwise, you should be safe.
Right. Oh,
I will roll for Donnie.
You have hero points.
Well, Donnie's not with us, right? Donnie's in the car.
No, he's in
You
the
left
car.
him in the car? Okay, then Donnie.
Yeah, he's in the car with Yara.
Yeah, okay.
Unless he said that he wanted to come with us. He's in the car.
No,
with
he
Yara.
didn't explicitly say so. I just assumed.
And I have hide in plain sight, so that'll help a little.
Yeah, it means you
I
can...
would like to...
So, Matilda, you lost sight of Kifkin.
Yeah, and I would
just
like
got
to use that hero point donated by Foxy to get a reroll.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you still have your 2 hero points for the session for regular rerolls, so you could save it for an actual crit if you prefer so.
Yeah, okay, sure. I'll use all my regular rerolls then. Yeah. That's a minor improvement.
That's 17 because it's under 10.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. I forgot we got to magically improve things like that. Yes, that's a major improvement. I will mark off that hero point.
Yeah, you did lose sight of Kifkin as soon as you started hiding behind rocks and stuff. And
I imagine we just went
Sneaky.
in 2 different directions to sneaking.
yeah, the moment he said 1 step forward, you lost him. So.
She just kind of looks around, and I think she's going to open her mind to get a surface read on the mines around here, because that should make it pretty easy to figure out where Kipkin's gone for her.
Yeah.
He will be thinking long thoughts. That is how she knows where Kipkin is.
Okay.
So I'll make a roll against my 50 wisdom. No, my brain explodes. That's not good.
Yeah, you cannot use hero points on this to reroll.
No.
You wanted to explain to me again what exactly did you want? Which power did you use, and what did you want to?
I was using the power. I think it's Third Eye.
Yeah. To
where she just kind of opens up her mind. No, is it mind reading?
I think you wanted to do the one where you have sight in another place, right? Like move around in the.
Yeah, basically,
okay.
Just kind of walk around and see the thoughts.
So basically, as soon as you do that, you actually get to surveil the compound, and you move around with ease. You can actually spot Kifkin's energy in this way when you move up, because he's not hiding in your plane. There is the one guard at the gate, and you do notice a concentration of energy in the mines. So yeah, nothing out of the ordinary here yet.
Good.
Kifkin, you can roll me a perception though.
Okay.
And I will not allow you to reroll this one. But you roll good. You roll pretty good. You do get the same smell of ozone for a moment, a hint of it. But other than that, you did see the Inquisitor also take a route hiding and lost a direct sight of her. As you reach the compound, you're pretty damn sure that no one saw you, and you see Vasily entering the cave entrance, which is where we'll pick up with Vasily and Svenja. You're right at the entrance, looking in. It's basically a sauna. The tunnel has been cut out by explosives mostly. The ceiling is studded in places to prevent cave-ins. There's pipes running down, and also a big air vent with a duct down the mines as well, coming from what looks like a generator building.
Marvelous. Do I see where Eva might be?
In the mines is what they said, but the tunnel it goes. It is illuminated, but it does go around the corner, and there's some splits you can see from here already.
I must say, I scream in like the loudest voice possible. I have had a supremely trying day, and anyone who might be able to provide some sort of supplication through this immense trial would be richly appreciated and rewarded.
Must you yell? She's kind of like...
You only really hear the buzzing of the ventilation coming down from the tunnel.
Do you know, I have half a mind to simply set this entire facility on fire, save us the trouble of investigating.
At this point, I mean, Sophenya's just like... she's completely forgotten about the loosely tied ropes holding her wrists together. She's like, I believe that was my initial suggestion about 2 days ago when we were still up there instead of down here.
Well, blame our Inquisitor. I say this
you hear
strictly
that,
off calm.
Yeah.
I say this.
And Sophenya just looks at you and goes, Sophenya just looks at you and goes, I like my brain inside my skull.
So
I just rush into the caves, just forgetting this whole charade.
Yeah,
I stay right with him.
It's empty for at least a kilometer. Going down at about a 30-degree angle, winding down. Several smaller side splits that only run short, like 30, 40 meters. And then all of a sudden, you see the end of the tunnel. Instead of being a tunnel, you see it open up into more of a huge cave. You're not right there yet, but you can see it opening up.
That's a hell of this. I hand the hellgun off to Sifenia.
Oh, I take the spell gun. Sword. Take the sword, buckle it on. Oh, that's much better.
And before they continue, Kifkin, do you follow them into the caves, or are you on a? It takes him a couple of minutes to walk there, so if he's not frozen, I think it might be frozen.
Looks that way.
Yeah, you never know.
Heresy is creeping. Well, let me tell you.
Heresy is
Indeed.
creeping. So let's go to Matilda. You can normally you can move around, and you can still move around and actually approach them, follow them.
I think she would glance back to where she left herself to make sure it's still in good cover from this angle, and then kind of approach the mines a little bit more. She knows there's a lot of mines in the mines, and that's apparently where the action is right now. So she kind of drifts over there, knowing that she can't be seen in this form as far as she's aware, and goes to check out what's going on down there. She can feel all of these little hive minds going on, I think, is how it kind of feels to her. Lots of workers, I guess. She kind of moves towards the mass to try and untangle it.
Yeah. So your body is in a safe position. I think we have him back. Your body looks to be pretty safe. Welcome back, Pope. As you scan, you can actually get an early view of the what's down in the cave. But we'll go to Kifkin first. Kifkin, you saw Sifenia and Vasily walk into the tunnel. What do you do? They're going to be, let's see, a kilometer is walking. It takes about 10 minutes at a high pace.
Seeing them creep into the actual mine, going to continue creeping along, trying to get to a secluded position near the mouth of the mine and hold there.
Okay. Yep. That's fine. All right. When you approach the cave opening, so to say, it's more of it opens into a cavern, in which you see a half excavated building in the same building style as the ancient ruins in the city. And there's several huts built here, like the workman huts you see on building sites. There's one woman talking with the workers you recognize from earlier outside, and at the excavations there's 10 or so, if I'm correct, working, clearing rubble, drilling holes in rock. And Matilda, you also see this, but the building to you is almost as if there's no mountain around it. It's just, you could see the building, and it's somehow blocking you from entering.
I feel like she almost kind of does this dance against whatever this wall to her is, even if the wall is just a feeling and it's not a literal metaphysical wall. And she tries to recenter herself, thinking maybe I've wandered too far or something, and she'll try again to push through the barrier.
Yeah, for Vesely and Savannah, the parts of the building you can see, it's like a very dark concrete surface, but to Matilda it's pitch black, as in like when your whole world is in monochrome, like shades of gray. This is black. You can as in you know it's physical, and if you recenter, you don't feel that you can get through, and you can roll me a toughness.
Okay. Because I imagine Matilda's just like, okay, we've trained for this. Just push a little bit harder. Oh, that's not good. 5 plus.
You feel, as soon as you touch it for the second time, you do feel some sort of psychic feedback and a lot of pain.
Okay, she instantly kind of bounces back and stares at this barrier. She's never experienced such a barrier, I don't think. I guess it would maybe be akin to the barrier to the navigator's room, but there's something different about it. She doesn't get it, and she is going to try and retreat back to her body because she doesn't want to blow her brains up, basically, which she knows she's at risk of doing if she pushes through something that is kind of beyond her capabilities.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. Then, well, actually, now you can normally snap out of it, but it doesn't let you back into your body.
And she stands there just blinking at this blackness, this wall in front of her, trying to just poof back. And then she slowly turns, and she turns towards the car park area behind her. And I think she's gonna drift with her energy, that kind of zoom thing, back to her body to check it's still there, because now she's worried the body's gone. Because she's never had this problem before. Getting back is always fine. Getting out is the trouble.
Yeah. The body is still there. It looks unhurt.
And she turns back and she scowls at that entrance. Someone on this planet can do things they shouldn't be able to do, and that is bothering her. She refuses to accept this is a problem with herself. This is getting blamed on there being another psyker around, someone with some sort of blocking tech. And she's stuck. She doesn't know what to do now.
Okay. Well, we'll let you be stuck for a moment. Because Vesely and Savannah, you you get the picture of the cave opening. I think it's about 50 meters cleared, and you can see parts of the building. There's no entrance inside yet, but they seem to have found something here.
Savannah has the Arbite uniform. She's actually grabbed the patches and whatever rank might be pinned to it, and she's ripped those off and scuffed up the uniform a bit, and is going to go with. She's going to look at Vasily and say, "You were actually quite convincing to turn an Arbite officer to assist you. Fair enough."
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's it.
I was tired of having my hands bound. What else
So how
can
do
we
we
see?
approach this?
Do we hear voices? Anything?
You're far away enough that you can't distinguish them, but you can see Eva talking to the man, and that's where it's at the moment.
Okay.
We'll just continue forward.
Hold my finger to my lips and stealth forward best we can.
Yeah, after about 30 seconds, you see them send the men away, and she she runs down to the men working in the excavation.
Blink a few times confusedly. All right.
I look at Vasily and I say, you told me that I was going to meet somebody.
I was under the impression that there would be someone of import within the group that I had arranged with meeting me.
Did you
here.
not? There's people upstairs. They said something about an Eva, and she started to talk loud enough to hope that the group of people that are still around can hear her.
Yeah, if you do that, they do hear you, and the first thing they do is they scatter over the area. Some of them start running to the barracks, let's call them that. One of them picks up like a big wrench and starts running to a position in cover. And
Why does everyone here run?
These are the movements of innocent men, I swear.
Your contacts, I've been getting to think that they lied to you.
I look to the one that scurried behind with the big wrench, and I just sort of shout in in their general direction. Assault us, and you assault the body Imperium.
He doesn't respond.
Ollie, I'll come free.
I sort of slowly step forward towards the guy, sheathe my flamer, keep a hand on my chainsword, and
it's a good 20 meters into the cave to do that.
Perfectly fine.
Okay.
Just slowly make my way.
As you start slowly moving forward, the both of you can roll me a perception.
All right. Uh, 5 plus 10. 15?
15 and
10.
10. Sylvania, you're still in the corridor, right? If I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
You let Vesely go ahead. Okay. Then.
Yep.
Then I think it's time to roll initiative. As Vesely, you are jumped by someone from above you.
I do, just as a little bit of a note, I do have uncanny dodge as one of my advantages. Yeah. Not vulnerable when surprised or caught off guard. So just as
you get your full AC to the initial attack.
Sure.
I think, or was half active defense actually instead of being defenseless.
Sure.
All right. So we will. So the order of combat will be there will be a surprise round, and there's only one person acting on the surprise round, and that's the person jumping, and then we go to normal initiative.
Okay.
So let's get to. We have my group will be on 9. I'll put Eva. She's rolling bad. I'll put on 6. Let's see. Vesely.
All right. Rolling. I would like to use a hero point if I could, because this is trash. Yeah. 19 plus something. Right? Dexterity?
It's initiative. It should be on the sheet.
Oh, right. 0. So 19 straight.
19. And Savannah?
24.
24. Okay. The person jumping you, he will have to make an attack roll, as you are not defenseless at the moment. And you manage to sidestep the attack, and he basically jumped down on you, and he is holding. I did write that down. This is the guy holding a rock grinder, like one of those big machines with a spinning disc on it, and it's as he's landed, you hear it revving up.
Cute. I smile at him.
And that puts us to Savannah. Savannah, you see a person coming from above the tunnel opening. And you see Vasily sidestep just in time before he would have been hit by a big power tool.
All right. Well, I'm going to use quick draw to draw my hell gun.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to use accurate aim to point it at him. And then I'm going to tell the person, I'm actually kind of, this is directed at everybody that's there, whoever's hiding and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This was not the welcome we were expecting. Who wants to die first? Or would you rather talk?
Okay. So you want to intimidate them into talking instead of fighting. Okay, you can roll
and
me
I do have a new
intimidation.
I do have a new skill. It's called Fascinate, which lets me dazzle. So I'd like to add that in there.
Okay.
To kind of make them focus on me.
Yeah, you can roll me an intimidate to see if that works.
Okay. That's a 26.
Okay. So what you notice from that is that the guy who jumped down, he is actually distracted by what you did, making him fascinated, so to say. I think that makes him vulnerable, if I'm correct.
I believe so.
Yeah. The rest in the hallway, you do not directly see any effect on that.
Okay.
So that puts us.
Well,
to
he's the one that
Vasily.
she's got the hell gun aimed at.
Yeah, exactly. Vasily, there's the guy next to you, and he's indecisive on what he has to do now.
I pull out the flamer. Is there like a pile of explosives anywhere nearby?
Not within flamer reach.
Is there any way I could move closer to it?
Yeah,
just to
definitely.
All
There's next to the barracks there is a container with a big sign, "Careful explosives."
As the people are coming out of the barracks and sort of like trying
No
to
smoking sign.
yeah, just hold the flamer like at a comfortable enough range for myself, but pointed in that direction and look to those that are trying to like get their shit together.
Yeah, as you move up inside the barracks, through the door, you see several have picked up firearms, stubbers, which is pretty much like machine guns. Because you move past the barracks to get to the container.
All right.
And is there any action you would like to do as you're standing there? Maybe also an intimidation. I'll give you a +2 bonus.
Yeah, I'm going to stand with the flamer right by the explosives and just look to all of those picking up stubbers and saying, I would listen to my friend. We're quite amicable if you, of course, relinquish your weaponry.
And
a
roll me
little
the intimidation.
flame. All right, intimidation. I'm pretty good at that. That's great. All right, so hi up. I'm really good at that. Okay, 9 plus 10, so 29.
29. Okay. So the next in the initiative is the group. And the group, basically they have their weapons. They do come out of the barracks and they start taking up cover positions, do aim their weapons at you. And as they take position, they don't fire, which is what your action pretty much got to do there. The guy that's up fascinated, he holds the power tool, and he doesn't know what to do now. He looks to you, to Svenja, and he looks down at Vesely, and pretty much indecisive, and then looks to Eva, whose turn it is now. And she comes out of a different, smaller building, like an office shack, and tells, there's no Mexican standoff in this universe, but I'm gonna call it a Mexican standoff. So we find ourselves a Mexican standoff. What do you want?
Well, information more than anything would be appreciated, especially considering your cargo seems to be of a more human variety than originally anticipated.
So you're the runner. She yells from distance.
A poor hiring process you have.
But you were not supposed to look at your cargo. Poor runner.
I'm afraid I don't do what I am ordered to do. Most times.
So Fenya's just standing there going,
It seems we will all die here then.
Oh, you will die, most certainly. And your cohorts, and probably your cohorts' families, everyone you've ever known. Oh, but myself and my companion. No. We won't. So, I give you this one last chance. Call it a final testament. Relinquish unto us every bit of information that you have concerning the operations of heretics on this blasted sphere of rock, or we reduce this entire facility to a crater.
You think it's just us here? Go blow it up.
I insight check to see what her demeanor is, really.
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, I'll use my second hero point.
Okay.
Because
You do
that
have an
for
explosion to survive, right?
that's yeah. Yup.
Okay.
Hey, there's another one. So that's another. Oh wait, for insight, that's going to be 33.
33. So when she says there's more, she means it's more like there will be someone after us.
But does she want there to be someone after them? Like, how confident is she? Is she like full blown like loony nuts crazy, or am I like dealing with a rational individual here?
She is irrationally focused. She has already consigned to her fate.
Wow.
I dare you to blow it up, else I will shoot you in 5 seconds.
I pull the trigger on the flamer to the explosives.
As you do that,
I'm not wearing armor.
The flame comes out of your flamer and it fills the container, and a huge explosion goes off, and everybody can roll me first a reflex save and then a toughness check.
I'll do. Okay, reflex save first. So, hi-yo. Okay, that's 9 plus. What's reflex save? Is that under?
Reflex. Dodge.
My uncanny.
Yeah, dodge.
Dodge.
Yeah.
Dodge.
I don't suppose my uncanny dodge will help on this.
Same.
No,
here.
that's mostly not to be surprised. There's there's another skill that gives you a bonus on saves against area attacks specifically, but that's a different one.
Yeah,
evasion.
Okay.
So that's.
So basically, the first roll is to roll your toughness against half effect.
Oh, the first roll.
Yeah, the first roll is a dodge or reflex dodge so you can dodge out of the way. You can describe me your actions if you want to grab extra cinematic bonus.
Yeah. Like as soon as the flamer is the trigger is pulled and the gout of flame like engulfs this pile of explosives, I just turn to Safenia, grab the moron and run, bolt as quickly as I can.
Okay. So roll me those reflex. Dodge.
Okay.
Actually.
So that
roll
was
dodge.
14.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was 14 on my end. Oh no.
I'd like to use a luck for that.
Yeah.
What are my luck points for that? Because the Emperor protects.
Okay. So Jason, with 14, you're gonna have to roll against full effect, and Safenia can roll against half effect. And so, Jason, because you were so close to the explosion, you can roll me against effect 15, which will be halved to 7.
I'm just going to go ahead and use that lovely little 20 right here, if you don't mind.
Okay, what's your total score on the toughness then?
20.
20.
I have no toughness.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so glad to have this little friend right here.
Yeah, I'll take it away in a moment. So you get 20 against effect 7. That will give you a -1 penalty for the remainder of the scene on toughness checks. So you're basically, miraculously, you manage to dodge in such a way that you're sheltered from the blast, and you get some nasty burn wounds on your back, but yeah, you're quite okay. Safenia, you can roll me against effect 10, which will be halved to 5.
Okay, and I just am rolling the straight toughness.
Yeah, plus any bonuses you would normally have, so stamina, if you have it. Yeah, so that's a plus 3.
18.
Giving you 18 against 5, meaning you also get a -1 penalty on toughness checks. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna roll for Eva. And let's see. The guy in the hallway is the next roll. Okay, so the guy in the hallway you were supposed to grab, he doesn't manage to properly dive away as he's kind of flabbergasted. And he's in really bad shape, but he's alive. And after the explosion, you do hear rubble starting to fall as the cave starts to collapse, as well as the entrance cave. It looks unstable. So both Safenia and Vesely, I'll have you roll me a athletics, which is running, to see if you can outrun the collapse.
Okay, so that is +1, so... Oh, well, way to be a show-off, Safenia. Sheesh.
Okay.
Who needs armor? No.
You don't catch up with Safenia. She's a fast runner.
Yeah. But I would like very much to grab the spindly bastard who tried to jump me in the beginning, like by the scruff of the neck, and drag him along, if that's like an option.
He's missing an arm and a leg.
Too bad.
But he's alive.
Yeah. As Stephania is running, she's calling back, are the rest of you willing to die with her?
If you look back, you basically see a big pile of stone.
I guess they were willing to die with her. Does he have purple on him?
This guy, no, he's not shimmering, so to say.
Okay.
Matilda, you also saw that, and Kifkin, you heard a explosion come from the mine, and then a rush of dust, like flashing out of it a few seconds later.
What the devil did they do? Ah.
It was me. I did it. 'Twas I that set the house ablaze.
Fenris's beard. So, start actually moving further away quietly, because when there's one explosion, there's usually a secondary one that follows up. So, making it quietly, stealthily back towards the hill.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. You can roll me a perception as well now. As
All
you
right.
go back to the hill.
$21.
On the way, you do find the body of the Inquisitor sheltered behind some crates, unconscious.
Okay, we're doing this. I'm doing this. Okay. So I have enough equipment for this, so I'm going to take a syringe with stim, essentially high-end adrenaline, and just go, I need you awake now. And
Before Kifkin does that, Matilda, in the other realm, you also notice the explosion. And
Other realm, Matilda, as the explosion happens, is actually busy. She is trying to center and focus, and she is speaking out on this plane to the God Emperor, and she says, I don't know why you are halting me. You've spoken to me many times. What is the plan? How does this help us? God Emperor, I have faith in you, but I need some guidance. What is it that blocks us? And she's done this many times. This is not new conversation for Matilda.
And as you pray,
I'm happy to spend the hero point for this prayer to be psychic, I guess.
And let's make it a bit more. Oh wait, I've got some great music for this. So as you start to pray,
I'm happy place to sick.
You know when like explosion happens, you have that perception of there being a void of sound for a moment before it actually explodes. The void happens with any disturbance, like any psychic static in the background. It fades away for a moment, and you hear something like a voice whispering, "Don't disturb us." And with that, you wake up again.
And I imagine she wakes up just... Wait, is this wakes up in the metaphysical realm or in
the physical realm?
I imagine
So
she
your
wakes up
prayer
right as
works.
Kipfin's got this syringe and it's
Yeah.
just like plummeting down into her.
You can try to dodge it, or that's up to you. So you do see your eyes suddenly open as you start your movement, Kifkin.
Oh, I don't have to use this. just matter of factly. Oh, so apparently Inquisitors have machine spirits.
And her hand comes up and she grabs onto Kipkin and just pulls herself to her feet because they're gonna have to get out of here.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back. Running?
Now is not the time, Kipkin. Run!
Running.
Okay, so you run up the hill, over the ridge to the vehicle.
Just booking it.
Yeah, Savannah and Vasily, you enter into the open at a deserted compound, by the looks of it.
Is it truly deserted? Because it wasn't before. It was just people who had scattered and ran. Do we see anybody else running, or?
No, if you exit the tunnel, you cannot go back into the underground compound because that's kind of caved in.
Right. But up top, we've reached the top, correct?
Yeah.
There were still
if you want to
people
go.
up there. Yeah.
There was the tree that approached you, and they ran into the tunnel before you did. So they scattered and then headed into the tunnel. You had guarded the door at the entrance. That's all the people you've seen so far.
Is my new friend still around to where I'm like grabbed him and dragging him, or has he expired?
Let's see. He has expired.
I would like to use my luck control power if I'm not mistaken.
Let him reroll his death save?
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, that's how that works. At least for the ones.
Yeah,
let's
let's grab them and have a look at them because this is cool. Luck control.
Yes.
Which is at luck control. So which ones did you take?
I think it was
you can use it on another character's behalf, I think.
Yes.
And you can bestow them on others, I believe.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. And
oh no, actually, no. You took the one where you can force someone else to have a lower result, actually.
And the first one, I believe.
And the first one, yeah.
1 and 4. So
yeah, so you can use the first one on this guy.
Sure.
If you want to, if you don't want him to take the worst of the two.
Yeah, I would like. Believe it or not, I would like him not to die.
Okay. I will re-roll that die and attend to it. He is dying, but he hasn't passed out yet. Passed away yet.
Immediately on comms. Medical attention needed. Immediately.
Okay. I need a location.
Where do you bloody think, man? I sort of like yell.
Stefania will break in and calmly give our location to the adept. We have somebody missing an arm and a leg who's on the verge of death, who seems to be the only one that survived the cave-in after Vasily turned his flamer on the explosives. We're making our way to the surface.
Cockroaches cling to life in all circumstances, Sophia. It would be childish to assume that this is the last of them.
So, Kifkin, if you look back, you can see them in the entrance of the cave, talking into the comics.
Pulling the same shot of adrenaline. I guess I do have to use you today.
Rush back. Okay. All right. I will have you roll a medicine to see if you can stabilize this dying. He's missing one leg from the upper leg up, and the other arm from the shoulder, and he's pretty bleeding and wounding.
We'll roll treatment. I'll use a hero point on that.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
There you go.
So, as you go to work with your medkit, the nanobots find exactly the right arteries to close first, and you manage to stabilize the guy. He is passed out, but you're sure he will not die on your watch.
Can we leave now?
Matilda has continued on to the Arbeits vehicle as she has no way of communicating with anyone right now unless she wants to go back into Brainland.
Yep.
And she is gonna hop straight in that passenger seat and just grab the communications from Donnie and like plug it back in so she can hear what's going on. And
as you open the door, it's, "Are you okay? I heard a explosion," and he gives you the comm as you grab it.
I call that Vasily. It seems that we were right. This is indeed a safe harbor for heresy. But I'm not sure how far we are progressing. What is going on?
Safenia is looking for a live body at the moment. She's searching up top for anybody alive.
Okay. Where do you look first?
The guard shack and then the car parts. She'll just start searching the buildings.
So
They're doing all of this.
Yeah, the guard shack is empty at the moment, and as soon as you move to the car shacks, you see one person preparing a vehicle, which is the guard which was at the door.
I grab him.
As soon as you see she tries to run away. So you can roll me practically an attack, and if you hit, you can enter a grapple.
Okay. So this just a melee attack?
Yeah. A brawl.
Okay. 18.
Okay. You manage to grab him, and knowing your skill, you can actually get a proper hold of him.
Okay. And I'll just sit on him till everybody else catches up.
Okay.
Donnie,
He does
I need you to drive us.
struggle.
Again.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Okay. I need you to drive us to the compound. We have 4 people to pick up. And she means the quarry delivery. We have 4 passed out people in the back of a vehicle and she doesn't want them to die.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Plus it gets us closer to Stefania and Vasily. And Kipkin.
He turns around the vehicle and starts heading towards the trail that leads into the compound. So Stefania is sitting on the guy in the car park. Anything else other people want to do before Matilda arrives?
No, especially since I've got our limbless wonder stabilized.
I'm going. As you are, Kifkin, as you are sort of like helping this poor chap recover, I'm going to plant my chainsword right next to his ear and keep the engine sort of humming and looking down upon him, blinking a few times. Right. So, here's the deal. We keep you alive. You tell us everything. And you may receive a very, very generous and painless execution.
And this is the guy at Savannah?
No, this is the guy that Kifkin, the limbless wonder.
Okay. You do see him every now and then opening his eyes and staring into your eyes. His eyes are empty, but he doesn't speak.
I sort of slap him on the face. Come on, come back.
He just lost limbs, Vasily. I don't think he's going to be the talkative sort.
I lost at least a canister of flamer fuel, and you don't see me complaining.
Limbs versus flamer fuel, limbs win.
Not in war, my friend. Not in war. I sort of mumble and look down to this half-conscious individual.
As we drive across to the car park, Matilda turns and looks. How strong does Yara appear?
She's in
I
the
know
back
she was
in
the smallest one.
in one of the passenger seats. She looks relatively weak, but she's healthy. She's not sick or anything. Sickly.
As soon as this car stops, we are all getting out, and we will each take what we can out of the back of the car, save as many as we can. Today, Yara, your life is changing. Keep up. She turns back and is trying to spot the rest of the team as we approach the compound, figure out where everyone is. She is not opening her mind right now because bad things happen right now when she does that. So she's on best human behavior.
Yara nods as you say that. The rest sees the Arbeits half-track driving into the compound, and as they park next to the transport vehicle you used earlier, Yara and Donnie get out to shuttle
Matilda's
the other
out
bodies
as well.
Yep. Safenia, the person that she's sitting on, first she wants to sense heresy. Let's see if she can.
Come on, find me a heretic. Find us a heretic.
Who are you going to touch?
The guy I'm sitting on.
Oh, the guy you're sitting on. He's not a heretic.
He's not a heretic. So she's going to none too gently. She's pretty much got a knee in the small of his back, with one hand grabbing both wrists and cranking up. Free hand's going to grab the hair, lift up the head, and she's going to bend down and whisper in his ear, "Every human being has a place within the God Emperor's divine order. Your place right now is to tell me everything you know before the Inquisitor arrives, because you won't get a second chance. She'll rip it from your brain."
I don't. What's an Inquisitor? What do you want to know? I take.
Tell me about the heretic Eva.
Is she a heretic?
Are you an... No, I don't need to ask if you're an idiot. You are an idiot. What's going on here? Why the bodies?
Bodies?
I bounce his... I just kind of tap him against the floor. Not enough to break a nose or anything like that, just to get his attention. Yes, you idiot. The bodies. The ones the runners bring every so often?
I haven't seen any bodies. I don't check any cargo.
Who does check the cargo, idiot? And she bounces his head again.
No, it changes from week to week, but most of the miners down below, they unload and they bring the stuff to where it needs to be. I make coffee, I guard the gates, and I note down shipments. That's about it here.
Take me to Eva's office. And I lift him up.
To the explosion?
Chicken wing him. Oh, for fuck's sake. You know what? I don't think there is a place for you in the Emperor's order. And I just dislocate the shoulder.
Okay.
And I just hold him that way.
He yells out in pain.
And we'll wait for the Inquisitor to arrive and find out what she wants to do
My
with the
team,
idiot.
ladies and gentlemen.
Hey,
Subtle
we
as
got
always.
one. Hey, we got 1 out of 12. I mean, that's not bad odds.
It's more like 15, so your kill count is up now, Vasily.
Yes! I did it!
Alright, so Matilda focuses on getting these 4 unconscious... I think it's 4, I can't remember if it was 4 or 3 left. But gets them moved into the
Yeah, we
Arbeits.
have 3
and
unconscious left.
there's a little bit of ungraceful stacking going on because we have limited room and a lot of people to transport. I know this is a big transport vehicle, but all the same. And then as soon as the last one's in the motion of being in, she's gonna run for Kifkin.
Okay. Kifkin is at the cave entrance.
And she has her little las gun drawn. The most ineffectual weapon user ever.
Yeah. So Matilda comes running across the compound yard to Vasily and Kifkin at the body.
Greetings, Madam Inquisitor. Vasily decided to bring you a gift that I've had to wrap
Vasily,
together.
who is this man?
Madam Inquisitor, I stand up with sort of grace and aplomb, leaving the chain sword rumbling right past his head. I present to you one of the many heretics on this emperor-forsaken planet.
Will
a
he
little
live?
bit worse for wear, sure. And I sort of kick his ribs.
Please don't do that. I just made sure he was stable.
Where is
He'll be a little
Sophia?
worse for wear. I point over to the...
You hear a scream from across the yard.
And for the brief
I
moment,
use his
Matilda's
dislocated
eyes
arm to
close.
wave to her.
Is he a heretic? Just
Unfortunately,
loudly.
no. He's
Hurry
unfortunately
up and check
not.
this one. Where's everyone
Yes,
else?
Madam
And
Inquisitor. And that's
Matilda's
what I was going to
looking
ask
around
this
for
guy
him.
was, where's everybody else up top? I asked him, who else is up here?
He's in between his pain. Well, there's Mark at the radio. I don't know where Thomas is today. He might be out scavenging. I don't know.
Yeah. Why don't you tell me where Thomas is? And I say, Madam Inquisitor, the Radio Shack, the building with the antenna, there should be somebody named Mark in there. Would you like me to go get him and leave this idiot?
Vasily, go. Stephania, please inspect this man that Kifkin is attempting to keep alive. I need to know if he is valuable. And Matilda is looking around and she wants to see if she can spot, I don't know, I guess she didn't see Eva, so she wouldn't be able to spot Eva as such. But she definitely wants to look around for anyone who's not just running for their lives, who is throwing interest.
All right. I dropped the guy next to Armless Guy and reached down and touched Armless Guy to see if he's a heretic.
He is a heretic.
What?
Yay, we got one!
And do you have
this
any
one
hero
is a-
points left?
Do I?
Yeah.
I have 2.
Okay. You get. I'm gonna tag one of your complications, telling you because you're a sister of battle, you want to purge any heresy you see, and unless you spend a hero point, you get irresistible urge to kill this man.
I will spend the hero point because I am more scared of the Inquisitor at the moment.
Okay, I will take it. Thank you for your hero point.
You're welcome. I'll just
Oh
cross
my God.
that right off.
I get that, like, emanating, like, I want to kill this person sense from Sophenia, and I just slowly drag my chainsword away and start running towards the radio tower, calling after, Johnny, a little assistance, as I run over.
And meanwhile, I'm asking the guy whose shoulder I dislocated, so where does Thomas like to go scavenging? In a very conversational tone.
Sophia, load this man
Yes,
into
ma'am.
the vehicle. Stop dallying.
Yes, ma'am. Well, there's one more that seems to be out scavenging. I'm attempting to ascertain
Matilda
his location.
shoots the guy Sophia is holding in the head. She's over it.
And I pick up Armless Guy and put him in the back of the truck.
What did Matilda do?
She shot the guy Sophia was holding in the head.
Okay, so he's dead now.
Yeah.
I just drop him and pick up Armless Guy and come along, Kipkin.
Yay, tell me get the kill count.
I love it.
Besides the
Innocent
navigator.
civilian, woohoo!
Okay, Vasily.
Accessory.
You reached the radio shack before Donny does. Donny was just came out of the Arbeitstruck. He is on his way over. Do you enter before he gets to you?
Yeah, probably. just kick in the door and like flame her first.
Roll me a perception.
Sure. I can
For
do
style.
that. I can sort of do that.
Well, you
Let's see,
roll.
that's,
You've got a big bonus, so you'll be fine.
Oh, I thank you, Bastian. I'm
Yeah. I do
I
think
don't like talking
it's
about
more
it, of course.
it's more for comic value rather than actual result, though, because what you see inside is there's computers, cogitators all around, linked into the base of the antenna, and over one of the computers is a guy. He's slumped down, face on the desk, and there's blood coming out of his ears and on the desk.
Out of his ears? I'm going to slowly go over and like take him by the shoulder and roll him like to where I can see his face.
Yeah, his face looks full of horror, but he is kind of dead.
Kind of dead or
Kind of,
dead?
yeah,
Dead?
dead. And there's also
Okay.
blood that came out of his nose and his eyes.
Okay, that's quite disconcerting. I'm going to look at the back of his neck to see if he had any like chip shit or something.
Okay.
Like that.
Medicine or perception?
Perception, please, because medicine is not my forte. Hiya! 22.
22. No.
So it wasn't a conduit for psychic energies. And yet, I roll him back over and just sort of take a look at him. I get on comms immediately. Kifkan?
Yes?
Have you much knowledge and experience with the warp?
You want the truth, or do you want me to say the thing that makes it so that people don't kill me?
Might
Well,
I
I
suggest
would
a quick answer, Kipkin?
Yes, I have inordinate and unfortunate amounts of experience with occult matters, Vasily. What would you like to know?
Well, I would like to know if you would come observe this corpse with me.
Was this made by you or someone else?
Someone else this time. And
Oh,
actually, in a
how
manner,
refreshing!
most curious. I sort of like poke at the head of this person, like trying to see if there's like any registering of movement, or like is this like literally I'm poking a corpse?
Yeah, it's a corpse.
Okay, it's a corpse.
It's a very fresh corpse, though. The blood is warm.
It's ripe. That's gotta get those corpses ripe, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going
You
to
can roll me a technology, though.
You know what? Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I was going to
I
have
got
Matilda ask Kipkin to do something with technology as well.
I got an 8.
An 8. Then what you do notice is there is this buzzing right before you won't have to roll me a reflex save.
Oh, marvelous. What is that mysterious ticking noise? Yup.
It's
Uh,
a
that-
pipe!
Yay! 19 for a
19.
dodge.
19 for dodge. That's pretty good. Because one thing you didn't notice in time was that the machine has been fiddled with, and all of a sudden there was a big electric spark, and the machine in front of you took fire. And because you made your reflex save, you can roll me against effect 2 with your -1 penalty for the fires that spring out of the machine.
So this is toughness or still reflex?
This is toughness. With
So 10.
and you have the -1 penalty because of your earlier damage.
9.
9. So let's see. 9 versus effect 2. Where's my file? Ooh, that's gonna hurt actually.
okay.
A 9 versus effect 2. That's not too bad. You get another you get a -2 penalty, and you become dazed as there's a small explosion, and there's a big wound on your leg now. As something blew out in the machine.
Can't we leave the Forsaken Quarry because things just keep exploding?
Vasily, was that you?
That's right. This was what was in front of me, and most of my leg, apparently. I sort of like...
And that's when Donnie steps in and pulls you out of this shack as well.
Oh, thank you, new friend. I'm sure that you're marvelously received in this group. So sorry that we haven't had the chance to chat. Well, I sort of like tumble a little bit.
Kifkin, I don't think that you'll be able to find out who they were communicating with. Everyone get to the vehicle. And can I make a perception, see if I can see anyone that's lurking to watch the suicide protocol go off?
Okay. Yeah, you can roll me a perception. Anyone can, by the way.
Okay.
28.
Perception? You? Hey, 30. Or, well, wait a minute. No, since I'm dazed, that would be... If I'm dazed, does that affect this roll at any point?
No. It just limits your actions every turn.
Oh, good.
Then,
I'm going to burn a luck
after one turn, you recover enough. So, yeah, go ahead, Sylvain. Then, yeah, if you can roll a luck if you want to, but I already see a 20.
No, I won't burn it.
Okay. So, in the vicinity, you're sure no one is around anymore.
All right, is there a spare vehicle around that hasn't been visibly compromised?
There's 3 off-road vehicles here.
We take another vehicle, Matilda says to Kipkin, as she stops him from running towards the original vehicle. Because she knows that he can probably hotwire.
Safenya starts... well, there was the one that the guard was about to take that Matilda just killed. Is that one? I'm assuming that the keys are in that one, or it's ready to go.
Yeah, it's got its machine rights already done. Yes.
Okay, so she's Safenya's just going to start moving people into that one. She's just going to start moving bodies into that one.
Okay, it's basically a big, lightly armored pickup truck, which would correspond to resisting the acids in the atmosphere.
Okay.
This one has got 6 wheels.
Yes, as soon as she hears the Inquisitor take more vehicles, that's what she starts doing. Because she knows that one should be ready to go.
Do you want me to stay with our currently stable but perilously near dying man, or do you want me to drive?
Didn't someone transport him into the vehicle?
Well, he's in the half track.
Oh, he is in the half track.
Yeah, he was loaded into the half track, but do you want me to maintain treatment, or do you want me to drive?
Well, I can drive a vehicle.
Well, you're already taking the other vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not here. Vasily and Donnie, what are they doing? I know Donnie can drive. Matilda would take a shot at it if she had to. But where are Donnie and Vasily in relation to the various vehicles?
Well, let's see. That would depend on
where
how
are you?
far the radio so we're stumbling out of the radio tower at this point. Like,
and you see it burst into fire.
And I didn't even do that. I put myself on comms, kind of delirious. Oh, Madam Inquisitor. What is our exit plan or strategy or
Get into Fenya's vehicle. Send Donnie to ours.
She's calling for you. I take the communication bead and put it into his ear.
Great.
Donnie now has my communication bead.
I'm going to be burning through morphine.
Donnie, I need you to drive the original vehicle. Sophenia will take care of the rest. And this will be on open comm, so everyone who has a comm in their area right now can hear this instruction, so I'd have to say it 3 times.
What is she saying? I sort of
So as soon as I've got the bodies load, I go over and grab Vasily and just kind of bodily pick Vasily up, toss him into the back of my truck, get into the truck in the driver's seat, and get ready to drive off.
Donnie, do you know where there is an Arbeit station or similar near here that we can go to?
Yes, the closest by is one of the refinery facilities. It's still an hour out at least.
Safe?
As safe
And
as
she kind of
any
jacks her
refinery.
head towards the explosion that's behind them right now.
Unless it's already burning, I think it should be safe.
It'll have to do. We cannot stay out here and exposed. Yeah, and
What happened here? He asks.
It appears that the heretics had rigged the place to explode in case of infiltration. Vasily hurried up their plan.
Hi.
Okay.
I sort of waved to him.
Shit. Sophenia, get the explosives out of that truck. Do not leave those here.
Yes, Madam Inquisitor. And she hops out, runs over, pulls them out, shoves them into our truck, back into the driver.
So you've got corpses, Vasily, and explosives. Shit. Vasily and explosives on the same one.
I
This is
sort of
a chicken and fox boat conundrum.
Vasily is in the passenger seat, strapped down, and as Sophenia gets in again, she goes, "Open your mouth and I'll gag you." I gag him.
Remind me. I must say, you remind me of a cauliflower onion. I'm in a half-dazed state, so I just sort of accept it.
All right, and we get moving in the direction of that facility because we're gonna need a big boat. But on the way, I want to see if Kipkin and Matilda between them can try and get this heretic around enough that we can try and get some info because we got an hour.
Considering the sheer amount of shock and trauma, I don't think I can get him to rouse reliably. I can give him an adrenaline shot, but he's going to be really out of it.
It is okay. I will go to the source. Or rather, I will try.
Okay. No.
She kind of glances towards the driver's seat. Kifkin, why don't you keep Donnie company?
Just sort of pats the guy's head and goes, I would say a blessing, but it's meaningless now. And just goes up and sits in the passenger seat and is just beside himself.
Some human beings don't have a place in the Emperor's Order.
Yes, ma'am.
Kifkin, you are now in charge. I trust your decisions.
What?
Do not disturb me.
Why? I wouldn't dream of it.
Okay. And Matilda, for a second time today, is going to go out of herself and she's going to go mind splunking. I think is probably a good description of what she's going to go and do.
Okay. You can roll me
I'll make a roll.
a psychic check.
13.
Okay.
No, that's against a 15.
Well, that's
And I can't do rerolls right
well,
now.
that's a 23 because you have plus 10. Remember?
Oh, I didn't know I added to that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as
So
you
that's
roll a 5 or higher, your powers go through.
Okay. Good to know.
And-
So 23. And now I need to roll against his
own will.
opposed.
Yeah.
Although he's unconscious, right? So maybe that's in my
I'm
favor.
gonna give him some penalties. for his state and his...
Okay. 16.
16.
Is that 16 or is it 15? Okay. Hold on. What am I rolling with? Is it just willpower. My willpower?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, 16.
As soon as you probe his mind, you first get the surface thoughts, which are basically continuous flashbacks of an explosion and him seeing his own arm fly away, like in third person almost. When you
Matilda
yeah,
is trying to call to that conscious part of him that's not conscious right now. She wants to push past the images to basically talk to him in his own head. So I don't know if you want another roll to go deeper or...
Yeah, I'll take another roll to go deeper. So the next layer is would be a conscious thought, and the third layer to get into would be memories to dig into.
Okay.
So let's have an opposed one.
Oh no. 22.
22 against his roll of a 20 plus some bonuses. What you get in his... you do get to reach his inactive conscious thoughts, but somehow they are encrypted. Like, you cannot punch through them. And you can roll... Do you have knowledge of occult or something?
I don't think I mean, I feel like I should, but I don't think I do.
Did I give you anything in the lights? That's...
I don't see anything in the stats. Okay, I've got investigation, insight, but no actual knowledge skills.
Okay, so you have no book knowledge of psychic powers. We'll give you one thing you do know is that if you've done this before actually with a follower of yours. If you don't want their mind read by someone else, you encrypt it, and it's you recognize it as such.
I think Matilda is at the point where she knows we need answers, and she's been told not to bother the Emperor, which basically means get to work and stop faffing about in her head.
Okay.
And she's gonna, if this is allowed, I don't know, she's gonna push for level 3. She's gonna try and just sidestep this barrier. She's going for level 3 for memories because she wants to see who this person is connected to. She's going for the network.
Okay. So for that, do you have hero points?
No, I have the one donated by Charlotte.
Okay.
The one natural 20.
I'm gonna let you do that on a roll on your own behalf, so I'm not gonna force you to take it. But I will let you roll another willpower roll. And what you do know is, especially in his physical state, that punching through this barrier is likely to kill him shortly.
She is gonna risk it, and shout out to everyone in chat who's hanging out with us this afternoon as I potentially kill my character. I would like to use the point from Charlotte. I think this is a great hero moment where she's going beyond what she would normally do.
Okay, so you're gonna use it as a nat 20 or as a hero point?
What's the mechanical difference?
Okay, nat 20 will give you a 20 on your willpower roll.
Okay.
Which would be an opposed one, and you're likely to make that one. If you spend it as a hero point, I will give you more info than you normally would. As you alter the scene, so to say. You can unlock it even.
I want the information.
Okay.
I want as much information as I can get, so do you want me to still roll?
Yeah, just roll, and actually, I'm just gonna take it, and we'll proceed role playing.
Good. Don't look what I rolled. Good. Carry on.
Better. That's better. It is a 15, so it would have been fine.
Yeah, it's a 15.
So as you channel your psychic energies further into his mind, you do you know that you become more intertwined with him, with his brain, as you start digging into his latent memories. And it starts recently with before the explosion, where Eva ordered him up on a ledge above a cave to surprise anyone walking in. Then it goes slightly further back, where he's pretty much just ordered to dig out the building. There's some maps as well, and it goes further back where Eva basically converted him, so to say. You see see an occult like notebook, like a small notebook with filthy prayers, and you're gonna have to roll me a will save.
Okay, good to know. I'm having flashbacks to looking into the void. 14 plus 10.
Okay,
24.
That's enough not to take any feedback just from seeing the symbols in there. It's Val. It's basically inverted prayers to the emperor, but to some other deity unknown to you, and it goes further back, and that's when Kifkin notices that the body is going into shock.
Ah, crud.
With the Inquisitor unconscious next to it.
I imagine the Inquisitor, for her part, has like the deepest of black eyes right now, and full on like black veins going on, because she's going deep.
Ah, damn it. Going to try and trait him to stabilize him as he's convulsing. So let's do a treatment roll.
Yeah.
As Matilda is actually conducting this, can Vasily see this at
I
any
think you're
juncture?
in the other vehicle, right?
Yeah, you're in the truck. Yeah.
Not even like
You're
the
gagged in
rearview
the
mirror?
passenger seat next to Safenya in the pickup
bad.
truck. That's
Yeah, we're in the half track. So 20 on treatment?
Yeah, you managed to stabilize him, but it's not going to be long before this guy passes out completely. So somehow his heart rate is shooting through the roof. He's sweating, even though he shouldn't in his state. He's on the verge of dying, you know that. Matilda, as you look deeper, it goes back to all the way where he seemed to have joined. These are just like flashes from his memory, where he first joined Eva's excavation teams, like before he got in touch with any occult dealings. Where
Question.
he was, yeah.
During the memory when he was recruited, did I see anyone else? Did anyone else like flash through his mind, i.e. he wasn't the only one recruited at that time? Or someone else was working with Eva?
Yeah, it was a bunch of people.
Okay.
And you haven't seen Cornelius, right?
No.
No. I will describe
Heard about
to you.
Cornelius.
A man with an unshaved man with brown hair as well, who seemed to be above the rest. There was a large hulking guy, which you remember as the brute that was traveling with Vasily before he was shot.
Max?
Fox, actually.
Fox. That's right. Sorry, I remembered it was a short name.
Yeah. A woman with a very sharp nose as well. And several others which are not as descript in his memory.
So her focus is going to be to try and just lock in as many of these faces as she can, knowing this could be like a dream where the harder you remember or try to remember when you wake up, the easier it is to forget. So she's just doing what she can and then follows him deeper into this time before.
His memory doesn't actually have the description of these several others stored.
That's fine.
It's more like blank
Yeah, she's
face.
focusing on the ones that he remembers.
Yeah, exactly.
So that she doesn't forget those.
Yeah, and I will allow you to direct one more probe before you have to pull out
Okay, she knows he's dying?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that rolled all the way off. 15.
Yeah. I mean, just you can ask me like a direction in where you want to look in his memories, like time periods. Place.
Okay, so she wants to look at those maps that he's recalling with the instructions to dig out places. She is trying to figure out if they're like basically building. Matilda's thinking they're building connections so they can just blow up an entire place and stop what's going on here and flee. She's looking for places or plans for escapes. Although having seen the suicide protocol, she doesn't think it's likely.
Okay. I will allow you to gather some information about the maps.
Okay.
As you focus in on that memory, it's actually set in the work environment of without any taint of heresy around, if you were so to say. It's actually just work on prospecting sites, like factory prospecting. And Eva, who's leading the planning of that, is communicating with the proper authorities for that as well around it. And there's several markings of sites which have been crossed out. And I will give you numbers, which is number 73 and 72.
Okay.
And then there is number 75 as well, which is circled.
Good to know. One final push before she knows this guy is going to go and take her with him.
If you make me a willpower.
No, I just want to know what he remembers about Eva. Okay. You know what? Why not? Okay, let me think. Which I want to, because I love doing the terrible things. I think she's about to push for Eva as he remembers that scene with the maps laid out and Eva like on that communications, and she's super tempted to focus in and push. But I think she halts because she has information. She's not going to push.
Okay.
I want to, but I don't think she would.
You want to push, but okay. All right.
It's
mostly otherwise you'd have to roll to buy
but...
yourself time. That's pretty much why you have to roll.
It's tempting.
So yes or no? You decide now because he's going into cardiac arrest.
Shit. No. Just lets him die and gets out. Not worth it.
Then you wake up and you see Kifkin trying to keep him alive as his heart rate monitor, which is probably like a small scanner-like device, starts to flatline.
Yeah, the diagnoster that he's got set up next to him just goes off, and he sees your eyes come back, just throws up his hands. All right.
Donnie, Kipkin, do either of you know what is at sites 73, 2, no, 75. Start with 75. Does anyone know what is there?
Not offhand. I'd have to look it up.
No, I don't. It's probably close by, as we're at 77.
Never change of plans?
There was a map. 72 and 73 were crossed off. 75 was circled. Prospecting sites. But it was Eva. Eva was commanding it, but it could be legitimate. I don't know what they were doing with it.
Well, if we look back at Calvin...
There were others, too.
Okay. Well, considering this place is riddled with ancient ruins, and from what Calvin did with his converts and descriptions of things, they may be looking for either prospected restricted technologies that might be inside, or occult figures that might be inside, or there may actually be a number of a long-lost dedicated sites to the Emperor or possibly the ruinous powers. Either way, them finding them and either desecrating them or using them would be bad.
Yifkin, if I showed you symbols, what would it mean? And she's got like a banging headache because what she just did was real stupid.
Well, considering I unfortunately know a great deal about the ruinous powers, probably not much except give me an identification. So, if we know what they're dealing with, that helps me narrow the field, especially based on my own experience.
If they were recreated, what could an outcome be?
Demon summoning is definitely one of the top things. And considering just how backwater this place is, yet populated, possibly even drag this entire planet into the warp.
Good to know. And she's gonna climb into the front of the vehicle and sit and think about this. Before she's half tempted to just draw one symbol in blood and then wipe it out and then draw another one and then wipe it out, but she thinks this is a huge bad risk and is not gonna do that. Rather favoring a temporary writing format than not, but yeah, she's not going to do it. And she has no way, I don't think, of putting the image into Kipkin's head without risking popping his brain with it. So, yeah, she's going to sit in the front, move into the front of the vehicle and sit and chillax for 5 seconds and just re-go over in her mind everything that she just found out.
Throughout this whole process, Vasily has just been glaring at Safenia silently.
Oh, that's easy for conversation.
Yeah.
But she just, every time he goes, she goes, I could knock you unconscious. Would that be better?
Just no response. Because again,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
No. Yeah.
I rather like it this way, Vasily.
Just grumble, 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 grumble.
Okay, so are we diverting to Site 75 or are we still heading to the Arbites?
Well, we were heading to like a factory, right? So I'm imagining we're going to Site 76.
Refinery
Or 78.
substation.
It'll be one or the other.
So refinery, okay.
But it's just a place to stop. It's not so much about going in.
We're just heading to the closest place,
Plus, we need to get rid of a few people that we have with us.
Huh.
Oh, this reminds me. Kifkin, destroy the body. Push it out first and then destroy the body. You can shoot from a moving vehicle, right?
I can run it over.
I'm guessing you want me to carbonize the body, which is using the Inferno pistol?
Yes, unless you believe we can find more of the metal.
Probably not on this one, given the fact that he does not have a distinctive shimmer. Most of what I could probably use off of this body, I would actually have to go back to the ship in order to do analysis on dirt samples, fungus, and whatever else is underneath his fingernails, get an idea, as well as run his barcode. But if we're in a rush...
The barcode's on the arm, right?
No, it's on the back of the neck.
Cut his head off and destroy the rest. We just keep the important part. We can't travel with a body.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to borrow someone's blade. I use blunt force because I can't do
Matilda has a sword. I have a sword I can loan you. I say that. Matilda doesn't say it like that. Matilda reaches down to, I guess it's on her belt, and she'll pass the weapon over. I will read from my sheet what this is. This is a mastercrafted saber. So this is perfect for cutting a head off.
In the middle of combat, yes. This is exacting work. I would much rather my bone saw, but I guess in travel I can keep just
You can wait
hacking
until
away.
we stop if you would prefer.
That would be useful. That would be helpful. Definitely
Alright.
put a pin on that.
Do what you can to sanctify this body. I don't like how close it is to us.
That would involve purity seals, which I don't necessarily carry those except for in the cutter.
Improvise. Kifkin, you have a mind that is beautiful and vast. Improvise and shut up.
All the while, Donnie is in the driver's seat, and the look on his face is that of a father of which the child just ate a full jar of cookies, but he doesn't want to know because then he has to tell his wife, like a face like that. I see no evil, hear no evil, and he's just staring at the road.
I think Matilda glances at him and then just turns straight out the window. She's not dealing with it. She knows what she did was bad and isn't dealing with it. She'll deal with being very sick later.
Okay.
I think after this probably took, I guess, half an hour or so. About 15 minutes later, when we're about 15 minutes out from the facility, she'll reach out to contact Safenia to find out what's going on in their car, any updates that she needs to know.
It is quite peaceful here, Madam Inquisitor.
Cursing, just muffled cursing.
Just one moment, please. And then she just kind of tightens the strap around the gag.
Ow!
All is well. Quite peaceful, as I said. The three have not yet awakened. She's kind of looking back over her shoulders. Where are we headed to? Is there anything that I can do for you?
It is a refinery. Tell me, do you have any further conclusions from what happened in the mine? You were there when the explosion happened and in the time leading up to it. I was not.
I believe that the bodies are used as sacrifices of some sort. The people that, for the most part, are on top side of the mine do not ever go down into the mine and are unaware of what is actually happening below. Everyone below is a heretic. Everyone below is a fanatic, as the first one that we found.
Are they all dead? The woman. There was a woman, and she'll describe Eva.
Yes, that is Ava. She is the one who is in charge of the mine. There was a large explosion, and there was a collapse. I cannot tell if anyone was left alive. If they were, they could always go further into the tunnel. Further into the mines.
And Bastian, the mines themselves, I know they went into a mountain. Did they go down significantly?
Yeah, they went a kilometer down by a 30-degree slope.
Okay.
Do we know if we can find maps of the mines, of the tunneling, to see if any tunnels connect with other places?
Not without going back.
Or getting Kipkin to hack some sort of database at some point.
Yeah, you basically.
Well, we're going to.
There were some probes out to the sides, but they were very short. If any were followed.
Question: if our ship fires down, is it gonna penetrate far enough into the ground for it to make any difference, or is it just messy surface damage?
So that's gonna be about 300 meters down, I think. A single hit will not penetrate that far.
Had a feeling.
But it will shake up any cave systems under it, definitely.
It might be useful we could always go back and remove the blockage, the cave-in.
It has been 45 minutes. They've had time to get far enough. And I don't wish to bombard the facility. It is a waste of resources now. Unless, Kifkin, you advise me otherwise.
No, repeated bombardment, considering that we may need to make a jump out of here if things get really bad. We need to conserve whatever ship fuel we have and use our reserves sparingly. No, if there is an underground network, that actually makes me think that we may have a far worse problem.
I agree.
But the occult sigils are actually a good sign, in a matter of speaking, that what we're dealing with is not even more dire. So...
Donnie, you have
Yes,
a choice right now. We have a large-scale problem on your planet, and we'll continue to work. As soon as we reach the refinery, we can release you to return the Arbites, or you can remain working with us. Continue as a liaison, almost. I suppose. But you need to make the decision.
I know it's for the greater good, so I will assist you in any way I can, because it seems this planet will not be useful to the Emperor until it's clean.
Matilda is going to perform one last insight to see if he is almost too eager to continue helping us out, as she's hit a paranoid point, a result of kind of being in people's minds that she shouldn't have probably gone wandering into. So yeah, I'd like to just do like a final insight as she like stares, but I'm not going to use mental power.
I will give you a hero point if you do it with your powers.
If I do it with my powers,
I tempt you with your powers.
No, you're Steven. Take my boyfriend away from me by making me expose what a terrible person I am.
We never said we were good people.
And I will allow you to use that one next week as well. So it's not gonna just reset, and because we are resetting to 2, but you'll reset to 3 next week.
I don't think she's gonna do it. I don't think she wants to go mind probing. She has a headache.
Okay.
She spent time with him.
Side.
Yeah, it's super tempting. The extra hero point, but no, I'm not gonna make me do it. 22. No, +5. Sorry, 17.
17. What you gather is that he's it's
because I spent time with him, so I should have a fairly good read on him.
Yeah, as he says that, he is hiding something with his response, but his response is actually he is sincere about wanting to join, helping you.
Okay.
But there's something he's not saying, and you can feel it. It has to deal with his personal interest in you.
Can we now?
Send him my way. He'll be fine.
Stefania is dying to find out if she picks up the same whatever it is that from David, if she'll pick it up from Donnie as well.
Right?
Yeah.
Friggin' weirdo David. I think if she senses that there's something he's not telling, she can't risk it, and she will do the mind thing. And I know I'm now not going to get a hero point because I've now gone too far.
Okay. Yeah.
I get it. I should have thought it. 18.
18. Okay, let's roll an opposed. To see how much you get.
Why do you do this to me, Bastian? 20. 30.
Yeah, and what you get is that he is what's the word? He's attracted to the Inquisitor. And that's why he wants to stick around as well, instead of just wanting to help the planet.
I can live with that.
Oh, well, now I gotta find a way to kill him. Wait.
She, as soon as she sees that, I feel like she blushes. She hadn't, expected that. She'd been in paranoid world, and she, hurriedly looks away, and she can see her own reflection in, the glass of the vehicle. And she's like, oh, no, look further, look out, and she's like trying to block all minds. No minds in my mind right now. She goes real quiet.
Just like
Almost forgetting they were actually having a conversation. She just like.
So, and like
Not that dramatically, but that's like the internal.
When the facility comes within sight, he breaks the silence and says, "So, how do we handle this? I can tell them that we're on a secret investigation or something, Arbeits investigation, and they won't ask questions. They shouldn't have any Arbeits on site, so just security personnel."
An Arbeit investigation would be logical. Stefania, Donnie will tell them we are here on Arbeit business. Let Vasily know that is the case too.
Let's
He is not an Inquisitor. We're here on Arbeit business, Vasily.
I haven't heard from Vasily. How are his injuries? I imagined he would be whining quite a lot on comms, but I haven't heard a word.
I just imagine like a gushing wound. It's just like stabbed over. As I'm just like, whatever, fuck this. Just come on.
I imagine Stefania has she's learned basic first aid. I imagine she put some type of bandaging on it just because you're bleeding all over the truck. And really, that's just not done.
Oh yeah, we kind of forgot he was bleeding.
Yeah, kinda, huh?
Yeah, no, Stefania, once she threw him in the truck, she said, "Oh, that's not gonna. We can't have that." And she would have, just kind of wrapped a dressing and bandage over it just to keep it from bleeding all over the truck. I mean, taken the rest of the dressing and shoved that into Vasily's mouth. Tied it off with the bandage. He is stable. His wounds does not appear to be paining him much at the moment.
Kivkin, do we have the supplies to tend to him when we stop?
Yes, because I always bring spares. But it's going to take me some time. Considering if it's what I think it is, and probably a significant burn wound with some shrapnel.
I have bandaged it.
We may need to get him to a proper facility if the cuts are deep enough. So, it's just a matter of triage.
And we have 3 others who need care. And she turns and she looks to Yara to see how Yara is holding up, because there's a whole lot of shit that's gone on around here.
Yara is lightly stunned, so to say. She's still recovering from the sedation and adrenaline.
Kind of a bit shell-shocked.
Yeah. Some of the others are sleeping instead of in deep slumber. They're still... but they should be able to be woken up now if need be.
Yeah, I think I've got at least 1 or 2 in the back of the pickup truck, because you had taken the
We took the sleepers, you took bodies.
Oh, did we take bodies?
Bodies.
Okay.
Because we'd already moved the 3 before I even got to shooting the guy that you were hanging out with and finding out about Armless.
Before the refinery, did you want to get rid of any bodies? Anybody?
Anybody want to get rid of any bodies?
If we
we
pull
decided
over,
to keep our heretic body, so it's up to you what you do with yours.
Well, the only one I would have them would be that one guard that Matilda shot.
Okay.
We
I didn't know
have
if
any
you'd
other
grabbed any others from like the mine entrance or anything.
No, there weren't any. No, the only one that we managed to pull out was armless, limbless guy.
My new favorite corpse.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you could probably ditch that guy's blood. Well, no, don't ditch it.
No, I'll
Stefania,
hold on to it.
Don't
Yes,
get
madam.
rid of that body. We should return it to his family. Tragic work
Yes, madam.
accident.
Yes.
She's like massaging her temples like, I did a bad thing.
Okay, so we'll wrap up with the scene inside the refinery. As you arrive, Donnie seeks contact with security, and after a short conversation, manages to clear out one of the garages for you. And you park both cars in a large garage. Anyone that was working there is sent away, and they put up a sign on the door. Do not enter, and
It's a good instruction.
Given like a small respite here. This refinery is a sub-processing plant for long-range transport. So anything that comes in from local gathering facilities gets sent here and then either pumped or driven to the capital.
Oh, now let's try a treatment check on Vasily's leg.
Mm-hmm.
At which point you'll get to the cab of the pickup truck and notice that he is gagged, as well as bandaged around the leg.
He waves.
I'll use a hero point on that.
Okay.
Yeah, 19.
So,
19.
yeah.
Okay. That will get you back to up and running, all wounds closed, no penalties.
I sort of like tap at the gag.
I'm guessing that was put by the sister, so I don't want to piss her off.
I then just psychically like scream as loud as I can, trying to get Matilda's attention since I know that she's a psyker.
Vasily, your hands are not bound. Take it off yourself.
I blink a few times, look to my unbound hands, and like, oh, I'm a moron!
Yes, welcome! Welcome to the place where we know this.
Stefania's just been standing there going,
No, Vasily, I am glad that you are here and have your senses about you.
As you like praise that I'm sensible, I just sort of start laughing.
would you like me to replace the
Stefania.
gag, Madam Inquisitor?
No, I would like
No.
you to check him for the touch of heresy.
We killed them!
Very well.
We finally killed them! Well, at least a
I
portion of
slap
them.
my hand goes over his mouth as I'm checking him.
Check for heresy.
Well, Vasily, are you actually a heretic?
Absolutely not. No, I'm just insanely happy that I actually got to kill heretics.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't detect any taint of heresy.
Would you like me to replace the gag now?
He is
My
heresy free.
senses on
He is heresy free, Stefania.
Yes, Madam Inquisitor.
Let him talk. Vasily, you did well. But I believe the mines were rigged. They had
Of course.
a suicide protocol in place.
Oh,
There is still a large problem here. I need you to be calm and thinking. Challenge the heretics and not me.
Madam Inquisitor, we are in a hunting grounds now. Do you not understand? Our investigations have been facilitated marvelously.
I'm glad you
with
now
one of them.
approve of my management. Now focus and be quiet. Go into yourself and plan your hunt. Shh.
I sort of look around. Is Donnie anywhere nearby?
Donnie is at the table.
Good. I'm going to lean in close to the Inquisitor and sort of like whisper. And when I delve deep inside my mind, would there perchance be another visitor that I might expect?
No, I believe you will find it very restful. If you do find any visitors, let Stefania know.
Of course, Madam Inquisitor. Of course. I would recommend, and this is, he kind of drops this sort of, haha, finally demeanor and kind of drops into a little bit more of a serious tone. I would recommend you guard yourself much more carefully. They are not aware of your presence, thankfully. But the reach of chaos extends to far greater extents than that which we just experienced. I do not exercise fear, but advise caution.
And she leans even closer right by Vasily's ear and whispers, "Warn me again."
I don't do so verbally, but I think to myself, I just don't want to be working for a corpse.
And she's not reading his mind, so she has no idea what he is thinking at her. And she leans back and kind of pats him on an arm that's not injured to a degree. She's not being a dick, she's just patting him. And she's gonna walk over to Kipkin to check in with the brains of the operation.
Yes, Madam Inquisitor? Do you want to maybe describe the sigils that you were mentioning earlier?
No. On reflection, I think it is too dangerous. You are right. It's an invitation.
What were the context of the symbols used? Like, how were they being used?
She glances around to make sure no one is listening in on this because she wants to limit any spread that's going to come of what she's talking about. Was everyone kind of giving space, or is Vasily going to come and hang out?
Oh,
Yeah,
Stefania
said, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Stefania's with Donnie helping with bodies and whatever, getting things organized and that type of thing, dealing with the explosives, getting her armor back on.
Okay.
After settling people into rooms from especially the unconscious people, Donnie sits down at the table, which is while you were having a conversation with Vasily. And he's basically eating some rations at the moment. The table is a good 15 meters away from you.
Okay. I have limited knowledge on this subject. Well, limited specific knowledge. But I believe it was akin to a prayer book.
Oh,
something
actually
warped, but still a prayer book.
Okay. Not
Much
quite
like
enough
something
context.
Sophenia would appreciate for our emperor, but not speaking to our emperor.
Okay, so it's essentially a heretical primer. Alright, so...
Yes, it was used to recruit.
That's what I was needing. Okay, so symbols in there will be from recruits that we're looking at. And you hear him for the first time actually, instead of going loud, go soft. And this is the first time you see him, instead of going and explaining, going into himself. So recruitment tool, okay.
Kip can be careful. And there's genuine concern, as Matilda is kind of scared of this book by herself, and even talking about it now that she's had time to process is giving her the creeps. And seeing Kipkin go quiet is really scary.
Okay, so they're not resistant. They're not durable. They're not angry. That leaves two. And just this sort of quiet resignation and understanding hits his eyes. if this is an outlier, we're dealing with one of two. And I have a feeling it's a particular one. In which case, guard yourself. Because...
Kipkin, would it help to know that it is likely these cultists, these heretics, have someone with a gift that can block, that can obscure and hide from me?
Yes. Though the purple's sort of an outlier, but they could be working together. Within the heresies of the Ruinous Powers, there are two main threads that these two work upon. One is the accumulation of knowledge and power, raw. The other is both pleasure and perfection, its pursuit and its end goal. They are allies within the quartet, as opposed to enemies or rivals. Therefore, that makes sense. When using your powers against these heretics, take heed to not actually enter the minds of anyone you would think dangerous. The lower level cultists you can toy with, but... And he gets, again, really quiet and deadly serious. Anyone that's an actual leader may have their favor, and should you push, it won't be just you and them.
I understand, Kipkin. Should it come
good
to
news-
it, though, it
there
is
is
not
good
just
news.
them and me.
That is true.
And
Looks
this, because Kipkin knows Matilda quite well, this is not a display of arrogance or of blind faith. This is her genuinely stating something as a fact.
Okay. No. Good to know. That is true. But the good news is, while the planet might not be saved, the system can be. Because what I'm truly afraid of, I think we dodged a bullet. But if this is one of these two, and not the unfortunate fifth, we should be able to get to the bottom of this and at least, if necessary, perform an exterminatus, and that be it.
All right, Kipkin, prepare a brief for Vasily, Donnie, and Stefania. Limit your content. I would rather the sister not take your head before you finish.
Agreed. And he goes back more to his usual self and starts grabbing, quills and data pads and goes back to just furious work.
And Matilda goes to the table that Donnie's kind of sat at, and she's going to sit on the table and steal some of his food to try and kind of ground herself and get back to normal things. And just be quiet and let her team do what they've got to do. I imagine Stefania's probably taking stock of what we have and checking our weapons and stuff. I don't know, Kat, if there's anything you want to add.
She's taking care of the bodies. If Kifkin still wants just the head, she would behead the heretic.
The head and neck.
Yeah. She's quite adept at that. So she would be doing that. She'd be making the arrangements for the care of the sleeping ones with Yara, making sure that they all get settled, that type of thing. And she would, any contact that she would have with anybody from the refinery would involve a subtle check of heresy.
So at the table, after a silence, awkward silence. Donnie asks, so where do we go next?
That is a good question. In an hour or two, I will have an answer for you. There is work to be done first.
Okay. And that's where we'll wrap up today's session of Inquisitor.
Yay!
Well, almost doubled your kill count.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much credit we can really take for the kill count here. I mean, I guess Vasily did trigger the explosion.
Yeah.
For good or for worse, it's
Yeah.
And the good news, we now have a bomb if we want to blow something up. So
Yes. Yeah. Savannah would have taken charge of the explosives and made sure that those were secured properly.
all right. So, after a good session, I guess, let's go around the cast and crew, make room for the next show after that, because we'll be continuing with I think beginner's play today. If I'm correct.
Ravnica.
Unknown District.
Let's go around our cast and crews, see how you enjoyed today and where we can find you online, and then we'll make room for them. Let's start with Savannah, and then we'll go the circle.
I am Kat at Cleric of Cord. At Cleric of Cord is where you'll find me on the Twitters. You'll find me also back here on Encounter Roleplay on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern with Once Upon a Time as a police officer of Telandia, playing a Warforged wizard named Due Diligence. It's 180 degrees from this. So if you need a palate cleanser later in the week, come have a little fun. And then after that, directly after that, on the same channel, we'll be doing a low fantasy gaming system with Blood Plague in Will's own world. A lot of fun. Had our first episode last week. We've got 2 more to go. It's just real short, but it's also a lot of fun. A lot of kind of Warhammer feel to it as well, Warhammer fantasy. For other than that, you can check my pinned tweet on my Twitter page, where you can find me other days of the week, different streams and games that I'm playing in. Come by, say hi. Thank you for coming by today. Don't forget to keep donating, both to Will and Sydney's fund. And Wild Magic Surges are always a blast, as we have found out.
And we definitely appreciate the donations we had during the show. As I see the marker went up at least 200, so that's
thank you. Awesome. Yes, let's get Will and Sydney here.
Yeah, let's send them to the crazy country where all Europeans, right? So we can
America. I need to come to America.
Yeah. All right. Pope, what did you think of today, and where can we find you online?
I'm Pope World Build over on the Twitters, World Build here on the Twitch. You can find me regularly here on Mondays for more Inquisitor. Otherwise, I'm all around Twitch, so you'll probably see me in chat somewhere. Today was fantastic. We actually, got to see someone else kill for once, and it was nice to sort of stretch some other skills aside from technology and murder. And no, it's a delight as we just see how far down the rabbit hole this goes. So greatly looking forward to next week. Until then, Chaos Chorus, and those of you watching on YouTube, I love you. Take care. See you next time.
All right. Jason.
Yes. Hi. Yeah, no, this was fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. Just Jason, please, on Twitter. You can find me here on Mondays, over on Pro Restarter's channel on Thursdays, and alternating Tuesdays over on Susanna Grace's channel. Just doing lovely stuff and having a wonderful time. Can't wait to see what direction this takes, considering I pretty much directly blew up our only lead. But beyond that, I'm sure we'll be perfectly fine. And worst comes to worst, I'll probably just see if Yara and the rest of those people in the refinery want to join a little bit of a posse that I might set up. It's all in what the dice have in store for us.
All in good spirit, right?
All in good spirit. All in good heretic killing spirit.
So let's finish up as customary with our Inquisitor, Matilda, Charlie.
I had so much fun this session, and it's really cool getting to do the bad things that I know I shouldn't do, but they're so much fun. And I think getting to show a little bit of where Matilda's coming from, where she literally tries to direct Call of the God occasionally, and apparently has that line function, which is interesting, and always fun to run near the edge of the abyss and the void when trying to get answers about it. So thank you, Bastian, for a really fun session. It was action-packed as always. I'm very jealous of your ability to make action scenes because they're very fun and very cool. I'm at Frost and Fire on the Twitters, and I'm back here on Wednesday for our Warhammer Fantasy finale of Spite of the Witch King. I'm very sad that it will be potentially the last I see of Darcy, but I'm sure it will be dramatic.
I'll tune in. I'll definitely tune in.
Good. And if you want to hang out with me and Bastian, we are here on Mondays before Mouse Guard, playing Divinity Original Sin 2 and having a lot of fun. We are currently, I think we've just hit Fort Joy, and we've established our colleagues for the trip. And
from the frogs.
Yes, we did save the children from the frogs. We are good people. So yeah, if you want to watch some RPG content that isn't TTRPG, that's on Mondays before Mouse Guard. I think we start at about 8 or 9 a.m. EST. I forget. I will do tweets. But yes, that's what's going on. And then I'm all over the place everywhere else. There's a pinned tweet on my Twitters. But thank you so much, chat, for being here, for your support. I hope to see you again on Monday next week. And if you're on YouTube, leave us a nice comment. Don't tell me the daft things that I did with Daft. I already know. Love you.
Well, and you can find me here on Encounter Roleplay on Mondays, both for the Divinity Original Sin 2 and this stream where I'm GMing. You can also find me on my website, which I'll post in chat. I enjoyed today. Really loved seeing the band actually come together and, more or less work together. Twists and turns. One of the greatest things for me about the Mutants and Mastermind system is that it encourages cinematic combat, as it's based off of comic books where everything is cinematic, right? And that's also what I'm trying to bring here, but a little bit more grimdark with a bit more blood. So yeah, looking forward to next week. We'll see where you head off next to try and solve this mystery on this planet. And I will hand over to our host in the tunnel now, so they can get you hyped for the next show. All right, and thanks for the donations, both the criticals, the net one, which I will give out next week to someone at the wrong time for them. So rest assured, see you next week. Bye bye.